Imagine having a couple of $1 billion lying around. Oh, the endless possibilities you could do. Of course, I'd get a huge mansion and a couple of cars and invest my money in things that could make me richer in the future, like gold or silver perhaps. Well, speaking of gold, what if I told you a man once owned half of the gold in the world? This man was even richer than Jeff Bezos. Experts claim that his fortune was unfathomable and that no one would ever be able to come close to matching it. In today's video, we'll look at the world's richest man in history and how he spent his riches with his lavish life. Welcome to Socialux. Our goal is to provide you with a dose of luxury, travel, houses, cars, and stories of successful people so you can be inspired to live an abundant, beautiful, and successful life. We upload videos weekly. Make sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and feel free to comment any questions you may have down below. Enjoy! Let's time travel to 14th century in Europe, when the bubonic plague is wiping out cities and killing off a third of the population. Lots of people have died in the continuous conflict, and the streets are littered with garbage and human waste. Truthfully, this is a terrible time to be alive. But if you look a little further south to Africa, things are very different. In 1312 BCE, Musa Keita I took control of the Mali kingdom and became known as Mansa Musa. All around the continent, people are creating and sharing art, mosques are being constructed, and universities are opening their doors. Mansa Musa ruled over a vast empire that included the modern-day countries of Mali, Senegal, Guinea, Niger, the Gambia, Nigeria, Chad, Burkina Faso, and Mauritania. Mali and Mansa Musa flourished so much because of the wealth of the area around them. It is estimated that the Mali Empire, which he ruled over, held half of the world's gold at its peak. Gold alone would provide an empire over $5 trillion in value if it possessed 50% of the world's supply today. Even though his dominion was worth twice as much in gold as the United Kingdom's GDP, Mansa Musa's rule encompassed much more than just gold. From the Atlantic to Sahara, the Mali Empire included the corresponding rainforests, plains, and all the riches that might be found there. Historically important commodities such as salt and elephant ivory helped make Mali prosperous. When Mansa Musa took the throne, his country was already doing well, but he expanded it much further. The expansion of the monarchy's realm to embrace 24 cities, including once isolated Timbuktu, allowed for freer trade. As king, Mansa Musa took pleasure in expanding his nation's territory and amassing wealth. But what did he do with all that money? Actually, he enjoys twisting things in ways that would make Jeff Bezos and Marie Antoinette look like fools. To appreciate how absurdly wealthy Mansa Musa was, it is necessary to look at the most lavish display of that wealth through his reign. The journey to Mecca. Mansa Musa, like the majority of Malian citizens, was a devout Muslim. Of course, many Muslims have made the pilgrimage to Mecca, but none have done it in quite the same fashion as Mansa Musa. To begin, Mansa Musa wasn't the only one who had to endure the heat of the desert while riding a camel. With an entourage large enough to support a small city, he could enjoy lavish lodgings that he didn't even have to set up himself while he traveled. An estimated 60,000 individuals were constantly on the move in his caravan. 500 of the 1,000 servants in his caravan were assigned to serve his head wife. There were 500 slaves making the trip, all of whom were carrying 6 pounds of gold staffs. To put it in perspective, that's equivalent to 3,000 pounds of gold. However, it wasn't the only gold present. Roughly 30,000 kilograms of gold were transported on 100 camels. 30,000 kilograms of gold is currently worth about $888 billion. Including the price of the golden staffs, Mansa Musa would control an asset worth close to $970 million, or slightly under $1 billion. The fact that thousands of slaves and attendants in his caravan were his property further adds to his worth and highlights the stunning display of wealth that this voyage actually was. Female slaves wore more elaborate and costly clothing made from Yemeni silk and brocade than was typical for slaves at the time. A large herd of camels, numbering in the hundreds, transported goods for the business, including a large quantity of silk and other fabrics. Along the way to Mecca, the group stopped at a number of cities, where they went shopping for a large quantity of gourmet food, high-end clothing, and sweets. While most Europe went starving, Mansa Musa frithered away his wealth carelessly. However, he did not frivolously spend his cash. He routinely made donations to various charities wherever he traveled, earning him a reputation as a kind benefactor to those in need. And while it could appear that there would be no issues with spending your riches in communities and assisting the poor, that wasn't the case here. Mansa Musa left a trail of gold behind him wherever he went. And that gold ultimately had a major impact in Cairo. Although Mansa Musa intended to cut via Egypt en route to Mecca, he was forced to stay in Cairo by Sultan al-Nasir. Therefore, Mansa Musa squandered his wealth and leisured for 3 months in a Cairo palace, enjoying the trappings of a royal life. Since he left Cairo, the economy has suffered considerably. Despite his generosity and wealth, it took Egypt 12 years to recover from the unimaginable drop in gold value he caused. Consider this. What would it be like to be so affluent that your spending habits would bring down a mighty empire's economy? During that journey, he dispensed not only his wealth, but also the knowledge that he was wealthy. When the rest of the world discovered how much money the Empire of Mali needed to burn, it quickly climbed to prominence. When Mansa Musa finally made it back to Mali, he still had some spending to do. When he returned from his travels, he brought with him artists, poets, scholars, and architects who helped him develop his towns even more. Construction on many mosques, universities, and castles began under his direction. The Djinguereber Mosque was one of Mansa Musa's orders. Even now, 700 years after it was constructed, the mosque is one of the largest and most impressive in all of Africa. The well-known architect who designed the mosque was paid almost 8.2 million in modern dollars, the equivalent of 440 pounds of gold. The mosque has space for 2,000 worshippers and is equipped with 2 minarets, 25 rows of pillars, and 3 inner courts. In addition, there were academic institutions, most notably Sankore University. Mansa Musa was so set on the improvement and education of the people under his rule that he petitioned Sankore University to do so. The institution has the potential to house over 25,000 students at once, making it larger than Harvard in terms of potential enrollment. There was a library there that rivaled that of Alexandria. It is believed to have contained between 400,000 to 700,000 manuscripts. However, other experts put that number as high as 1 million. The philosophers, artists, and scientists that Mansa Musa brought back from his travels worked with the institution to construct a somewhat modern schedule and organizational framework. The 4 tiers of education were roughly equivalent to today's bachelor's, master's, doctoral, and professional levels. In recognition for their efforts, pupils were given unique turbans upon completion of each level's curriculum, which included both secular and religious academics. And that's all for today's video. What are your thoughts about the reign of Mansa Musa? Let us know in the comment section below. If you enjoy everything luxurious, check out our other videos. And if you like them, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell. Thanks for watching. Until our next video. See you then.